The only downside would be if the CEO said something stupid, which embarrassed the company or degraded you. I think Krista Kiefer is another one that I know that she was like crushing with a crypto one. I'm talking like millions of dollars a month gone because of those crypto bans. That wasn't even illegal spammy company. That was just a change of regulation. And it was like overnight gone, right? Yeah. And then I think she had a different one where there was like a CBD one where there was another same thing, regulations, you know, and I'm sure wine had its own regulations and compliance that you were involved in here. But the only downside could be, right, if the top echelon of the company, the platform owners, make mistakes.
Yeah.
Walk me through that realization that you had.
Yeah. So, dude, that did happen to me. I did lose all of that income. So my wife and I, well, she's my fiance at the time of this story. So we were like out shopping for our wedding day. So it was like one of the best days of my life. I was like, oh, like we get to go out and shop and get all this cool stuff. And we're out to lunch. I'm having a beer. She's having a glass of wine. I'm like, this is just awesome. And I get this phone call from my like top leader. And she's like, hey, I just want you to hear it from me first. I'm leaving. And I was like, oh shit, right? Because she was a top leader. She had some influence in the company as well. And a lot of people looked up to her and her guidance and stuff like that. Like she was a good person, right? And so I was like, this is going to take a huge hit in our income. And so I ended up asking her, I was like, what, like, why? Like, what's going on? She's like, I'm just not making the type of money I want to. I was like, okay, can't be mad at that. It is what it is. Like, people come and go in the industry, and it's like, I can't say, you suck, shame. You know, I can't do that. So some people do. So I was like, I get it. Let me help you kind of exit, and we'll do it the right way, and we'll go from there. And so she ended up leaving, and she took a big majority of the people from the company and my team as well with her. And there's nothing I could do about it, right? It's like, this is what it is, right? I gotta deal with this. And so I hated that. I truly hated, I didn't care that she had left. I hated that my income, all the things that I had built over the last few years was taken away because someone just was like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? So it's like, that's not cool. Luckily, I was making extra income with my own courses, but that was such a massive hit. And I was like, oh, all right. So I, reached out to a mentor and I was like, what do I have to do here? He's like, you got to go and recruit. You got to hustle. You got to rebuild a whole new team. And I was like, all right, sound like hold my beer. So I went out for like the next year and just rebuilt that team, got the income back up. And I remember what happened was another person who was a big leader of mine messaged me and said, hey, I'm leaving. I was like, why? And she said, well, there was some drama with this other teammate. And I was like, so figure it out.
Yeah, and?
Yeah, right? And she's like, well, I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, well, then don't. I don't care. So she ended up leaving. And again, the same thing happened. And I was like, And I just remember my dad saying, like, I told my dad, I was like, yeah, this is something I got to deal with. Like, this just sucks. I was just going to go out there and rebuild and just kind of go on a hustle mode. Like, I was like, I got to go on like a 90-day sprint where I don't even like see my son for the day. I'm just basically from the time I wake up until I go to bed at night, like I'm just going to be rebuilding. And he said something that stuck with me. He goes, well, I get that it's part of the industry, but like, don't you get sick of that? And I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm so sick of this. This sucks. And I was like, well, you got to do what you got to do, but I know I'd hate it. And I was like, you're right. And so that's when I was like, I'm going to turn up the steam on this whole Misfits thing and really scale this to the damn moon. And I did that because I was so sick and tired of the up and down months. I was so sick of I don't mind putting in the work, but I don't like it when someone else does something that affects what I've done, right? And so I just went all in on selling that course. And there were months that it was like $60K months. And I was like, this is ridiculous, right? It was awesome. So I truly fell in love with monetizing your own knowledge, building like a bulletproof system around your business where you can still monetize from MLM. Like, I'm not bashing it, but I have seen so many leaders have stuff taken away overnight from the company closing, changing their compensation plan, leaders leaving. And it's like, I've been pulled recently to like, should I go help those guys? Because like I feel like that's kind of where I should. I've gone through it. I know what it's like. I know what to do, and I can help those leaders so they don't have to stay up awake at night wondering about that. And so that's something that I've been kind of wondering. Like, is this the angle I want to kind of go down? Everyone out there right now in this world, in the online make money, is talking about making money with courses, right? So like for me to like come in here, it's a whole big red ocean, right? I'm fighting for clients, everything, right? Whereas what I could do is go into this blue ocean with this like niched down industry and just focus on helping network marketers create their own thing that they can monetize and build alongside with, again, as that protection around their business. So that's something that I'm recently kind of being like, I wonder, you know?
Are you talking about with Digital Cash Flow Lab? Like swinging a little bit back into that?
Yeah, just more focused of like, you know, we've been working with clients and it's been great. But like as of lately, every single client that has come to me has been a network marketing leader saying, I want help running ads. I want help building my own thing. Help me sell this thing. And so I'm kind of taking that as like a sign being like, it's a pretty good, maybe that's where I want to kind of dive into that, niche down, make a couple million, and then kind of grow my brand. And then like, it's like, oh yeah, Trey's the guy to go with making courses, selling them, coaching programs, all the things.
What's going on, guys? If you like that clip right there, you will love the full interview. You can check that out right there. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and subscribe because we got a lot of big things coming up in the near future.